Hello and welcome to Your World Tonight. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran and here are the top stories from South Asia and around the world that we are tracking for you at this hour. Thousands of people gather in the southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu demanding the lifting of the ban on Jallikattu. Chennai comes to a standstill. Chief Minister O. Selvam to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi for demanding an ordinance. Parliamentary Standing Committee on Finance questions Reserve Bank of India Governor Urjit Patel for nearly 2 hours on the issue of demonetization of 500 and 1,000 rupee banknotes. Peace march taken out at Bangar in West Bengal the day after one person is killed in a Shingur-like anti-land acquisition protest against Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's government's decision to acquire land. Bollywood heaves a collective sigh of relief. Indian actor Salman Khan is back home after being acquitted in the 1998 Arms Act case. And President Vladimir Putin of Russia speaks out in support of Donald Trump, calls the so-called Kremlin dossier on the US president-elect a fake. Thousands of people, mostly youths, gathered in the southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu on Wednesday, demanding the lifting of the ban on Jallikattu. Meanwhile, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister O. Selvam will meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday to seek an ordinance on Jallikattu. AIA-DMK Chief V.K. Sasikala has already written to the Prime Minister. She's also said that the government will move and adopt an assembly resolution seeking removal of the ban. The protesters have been gathering on Marina Beach in Chennai, the capital city of Tamil Nadu, since Tuesday night. Most of the protesters are college and university students who made it to the venue through appeals for protest posted on social media. Reports say similar protests were being organized in other parts of the state. The protesters are carrying banners that read, "Lift ban on Jallikattu" and "Ban PETA." People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, or PETA, is an animal rights organization. Jallikattu was banned in 2014 after animal rights activists seeking prevention of cruelty to animals appealed India's top court that bulls which take part in the sport were severely harmed. Meanwhile, many actors have come out in support of Jallikattu. Jallitkattu has said, and I quote, "Rules can be framed to regulate the sport to prevent injuries, but instead of that, is it right to negate a culture?" Surya has said, and I quote, "The group called PETA, which won in the court of law by carrying out a campaign of lies that Jallikattu was inimical to bulls, has lost in the people's court," unquote. For the latest on this story, I'm now joined by WION's correspondent Nishchita Virendra. But before that, let's listen to some more reactions.
எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். நான் உங்கள் விஜய் பேசுகிறேன். உலகம் பூரா சட்டத்தை உருவாக்குனது மக்களோட கலாச்சாரத்தையும் உரிமையையும் பாதுகாக்கத்தான், பறிக்கிறதுக்கு இல்லை. தமிழனோட அடையாளம் ஜல்லிக்கட்டு. எதையும் எதிர்பார்க்காம, யாரோட தூண்டுதலும் இல்லாமல், எந்த விதமான கட்சி பேதமும் இன்றி தமிழ் என்ற ஒரே உணர்வோட இந்த போராட்டத்தில் குதிச்சிருக்கிற அத்தனை இளைஞர்களுக்கும் நான் தலை வணங்குறேன். இது சம்பந்தமா கைது செய்யப்பட்டவங்களை வெளியே அனுப்பிட்டா நான் சந்தோஷப்படுவேன். இவ்வளவுக்கும் காரணமான அமைப்பை வீட்டுக்கு அனுப்பிட்டா தமிழ்நாடு சந்தோஷப்படுவேன்.
And for the latest on this story, I'm now joined by WION's correspondent Nishchita Virendra. Also joining shortly on this discussion tonight will be Congress leader and former actor Khushbu Sundar and Ambika Nijjar, a lawyer and legal advisor to PETA. To you first, Nishchita. What more details can you share about the protests that we are witnessing in Chennai this evening? How did this huge mobilization come about?
Well, we understand that the mobilization came across through social media itself. A few posts on Facebook is all it took for nearly 12,000 of these protesters to converge near Marina Beach today as a show of solidarity with the tradition of Jallikattu. Initially, many of these protesters were only students who had come in large groups who had managed to coordinate with each other through the power of social media. But then soon you had office goers, people from all walks of life, age groups really come in and express support to this tradition that they feel so strongly for. The same arguments that we have been seeing in the last few days were put forth by these protesters. One, they claim that it was a conspiracy from on PETA's end, which is based in America, to really end the native cattle of India. Two, Tamil Nadu was being targeted for no reason, for tradition. The third argument that they were putting forth is that animal rights groups are really so concerned about the kind of torture meted out to these animals, then they should really look at the thriving leather industry and the food industry of the country. But we understand that so far there has been no real communication between these protesters as well as the stakeholders as far as the administrators are concerned. A few politicians from the AIADMK as well as the DMK did approach these protesters, whether it is in Alanganallur or whether it is on Marina Beach today, but no concrete conversation or no concrete dialogue was...
Right, Nishchita. I'll ask you to stay on while I
place.
bring in Congress leader and former actor Khushbu Sundar, who joins us tonight from Chennai. Khushbu, thank you for joining the discussion tonight on WION. I want to begin by asking you, what do you make of this spontaneous uprising in Chennai tonight in support of Jallikattu?
It is our way of showing that we stand together for a pride. You cannot separate a Tamilian from Jallikattu. Jallikattu, we have been practicing Tamil Nadu for thousands of years, and we don't need one American-based company coming up and saying that the Jallikattu is cruel to animals, so ban it. No. You need to live with the farmer to understand what Jallikattu is about, what cattle is about, what bull is about, what cow is about. They need to stay with the farmer for years together to see how a bull or a cow is treated within the in the family. You shoot, PETA comes and shoots few wrongs and say that this is what the cruelty happening. I'm saying, why don't you see the other side of it?
Indeed,
Who is
Khushbu,
PETA to decide for us? Who is PETA to decide for us? A tradition which has been followed for thousands of years, you cannot come in and take it away from us. It's a right, it's a pride, it's just with us, it's within us. Jallikattu is within us.
So if I understood you correctly, Khushbu, are you suggesting or saying that it's a question of PETA versus Tamil pride or culture? Did I hear you correctly?
PETA cannot decide what is right, what is wrong for the people of Tamil Nadu. We respect the apex court. We respect the judgment given by the Supreme Court. But at the same time, when you see this kind of a revolution happening in Tamil Nadu after so many years, we need to tell them that definitely there is a possibility of you going wrong somewhere. Give us an opportunity to explain ourselves. Give us an opportunity to prove ourselves. Give us an opportunity to tell you what Jallikattu means to us.
Indeed,
Why
Khushbu.
have we been denied of our democratic rights?
Absolutely, Khushbu. I'll ask you to stay on while I bring in my colleague Nishchita back into the discussion. Now, Nishchita, what do you make of the students, the young students, college students, university students who are gathering in large numbers in Chennai tonight? What are they saying? What are they doing? What's the expectations from the government in the state as well as at the center?
Well, a lot of anger being directed towards the state government as well as the central government, Ramesh, really. Towards the state government for primarily not living up to their promise. Let's not forget that O. Paneerselvam, the chief minister, had said that the festival of Jallikattu, the tradition of Jallikattu will be followed irrespective of what is being said. And also anger towards the central government for not passing the ordinance that the ruling AIADMK had had asked Prime Minister Narendra Modi to pass an ordinance thereby removing bulls from the list of animals that cannot be used for such entertainment purpose. But it almost seems like but the entire state of Tamil Nadu is coming together against a Supreme Court order. So far, the Supreme Court orders have been considered the highest orders of the country. It is not something to be defied. It is not something to be gone against. But the bottom line really that is coming down to amongst each and every protester on the street of Tamil Nadu is that they feel that this is a larger conspiracy that has been hatched against the tradition of Tamil Nadu, a larger conspiracy to end the native breed in Tamil Nadu, which is already one down if reports are anything to go by. But the other side of the argument being put forth by PETA, although the decision ultimately was taken by Supreme Court, PETA is not really an administrative body. It is just an animal rights group. And based on the evidence that PETA provided to the Supreme Court is what has taken the decision. The highest court of the country has
Absolutely,
considered it
Nishchita,
right.
I thank you for your inputs. While I bring in Ambika Nijjar, a lawyer and legal advisor to PETA, into the discussion, I will go back to Khushbu. Khushbu, given all that you've said just now, how do you think this standoff actually could end anytime soon, if at all?
We really hope and look forward that Supreme Court will give us an opportunity to explain ourselves. If the PETA is not against anything else, then why is it PETA writing to the President and the Prime Minister not to pass the ordinance? Let the Supreme Court take a call. The ordinance, if the parliamentarians, if the Prime Minister is going to sign off an ordinance, does not mean that it's going to come in effect. It has to go to the Supreme Court to look into it. So why is the PETA worried about what the President or the Prime Minister is going to talk about the ordinance? Let them deal with the Supreme Court. Why write a letter to the Prime Minister and the President that don't sign off, don't bring in an ordinance? What is your problem? Are they able to stop the kind of cockfights, bullfights, or any kind of animal sports we have in a country in different states? So we have it in Gujarat itself. We have it in Madhya Pradesh itself. We have it in Punjab. We have it in every corner. Why is it Tamil Nadu is isolated? Why is Tamil Nadu is targeted? Because they think we are soft victims? Because we don't respond? Because we don't retaliate? No. We might be soft-spoken, we might not retaliate, but then we are very, very strong people. So they take our silence for granted. And because they have been taking the silence for granted, they have seen how the entire Tamil Nadu is coming to a standstill, where you have every youth, every IT person, every student, every farmer, despite the worst drought Tamil Nadu has ever seen, every farmer on the street saying that I need Jallikattu. What is the problem?
Absolutely, Khushbu. I'll ask you to stay on while I bring in Ambika Nijjar, a lawyer and legal advisor to PETA, into the discussion tonight. Ambika, this is an emotive issue for some, but in your estimation, is it as much an issue about animal cruelty and the need to do away with such practices or traditions, however dear it might be for some people or communities?
First off, I'm from People for Animals. It's an entirely different NGO, where India's oldest animal welfare and animal rights NGO, not PETA. Secondly, I heard the other speaker...
Thank you for the correction, Ambika. But do please go on.
Right. So I heard the other speaker talking about Jallikattu and saying it's only Tamil Nadu that's being attacked. And I just want to say that that's not true, first off, and there's no attack on Tamil Nadu at all. There is a sustained campaign that animal rights groups have had throughout the length and breadth of the nation. Cockfights have been prohibited, bull fights have been prohibited, bullock cart races have been prohibited, buffalo fights have been prohibited. So all of these, Pashu Bali has been prohibited in Uttarakhand, in Punjab and Haryana, in Assam, and we haven't really seen this sort of a reaction anywhere else. And I think the reason for this is, and this is actually the sad truth, that, there is the worst drought in over a century from what I've read. According to the National Human Rights Commission, 106 farmers have committed suicide. All the state government has done is change the loans from a short-term loan to a medium-term loan.
But Ambika, for the benefit of viewers who might just be tuning in...
Allow me to complete. See, when your house is burning and you can't save your house, it's very easy to distract the attention of the people. What these young students who are out there protesting, and it's really amazing to see so much strength in youth, but I want to ask them, please don't bite the bait of your politicians and come and protest for Jallikattu. Come there and protest for your farmers. And I also want to ask that if you expect the Supreme Court to be swayed on the basis of your protest, what is going to happen in the Kaveri case, where the order has come in your favor? And the state of Karnataka also wants the water. Not 20,000. There they may have 20 lakh people on the streets protesting that. What is the state of Tamil Nadu and the students going to do then? Then they will be out here saying exactly what I am saying, which is that follow the Supreme Court order. It is the Supreme Court order. So everybody needs to understand that there is rule of law.
Ambika, your point is well taken, but if I might just go back to Khushbu for her closing comments. Khushbu, I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but are the protesters in any mood at all to relent, or do you anticipate a pitched battle until some, if not all, of the demands are met? And also, what if the ordinance is not issued as per the demands of the protesters tonight?
First of all, I'd like to correct the PETA legal advisor who's here. I would like to remind her that...
Yeah, she's from the People for Animals, PFA, and not PETA.
Okay.
I stand corrected.
Okay. So whoever it is, the animal activist, I would like to remind them she was talking with the length and breadth. They have been taking care against all the animal cruelties. Now, I would like to remind them the minute you cover the eyes of the 180-degree view of a horse, he is subjected to cruelty. To run a horse, you need to kick him. You need to whip him. And we see that in polo. We see them in army. So are you going to stop that? The minute you have hoops on the elephants, all the elephants, you find them chained in the temples. The hoops you have on the horses. All that is a cruelty. You nail it to them. So that's cruelty. What are you going to do about that? Stop it? Ask the army not to use the horses?
Indeed, Khushbu, you make some valid points there. But at this point in time, I want to thank all the panelists tonight for joining us on this discussion tonight with their perspectives on an issue that is agitating the minds of many in Tamil Nadu tonight. And moving on, the Standing Committee of Finance, headed by Veerappa Moily, grilled Finance Ministry officials and the Governor of the Reserve Bank of India, Urjit Patel, for nearly 2 hours on the demonetization process on Wednesday. The Standing Committee was informed that the RBI has issued 9.2 lakh crores in new currency to ensure liquidity in the economy after demonetization. The RBI Governor received support from the most unlikely quarter during questioning. His former boss, former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, stopped him from answering a question that senior Congress leader Digvijay Singh had asked, saying he need not answer a question that may cause problems. However, nearly after 3 weeks after demonetization process came to an end, both Finance Ministry and officials of the Reserve Bank of India could not provide details on Wednesday on how much of the banned currency had come back into the banking system. One of the committee members confirmed to WION that when asked when the details would be made available, the RBI officials replied that calculation is being done, no timeline could be given. Government officials informed the committee that demonetization was a well-thought-out decision and that preparations were from January 2016. Sources in the committee said Mr. Patel was questioned on the issue of autonomy of RBI and as to whether the relationship has changed under the current dispensation. For more on this story, we're now joined by WION's chief domestic correspondent, Karthikeya Sharma. Karthikeya, since we last spoke earlier in the evening, what more have you been able to learn from the discussions that took place in the committee's meeting? What was the tone and tenor of the discussions? And give us a flavor, if you will, about the exchanges between the committee's members and the RBI Governor Patel.
You see, a couple of things happened. For example, it was former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh who came to the rescue of Urjit Patel. And I think that has been a revelation when Digvijay Singh was actually grilling Urjit Patel. And Urjit Patel was being asked as to why withdrawal limit has been changed. Why is it 96,000? What will happen? Will there be social acrimony if the withdrawal limit is actually done away with? Manmohan Singh intervened and said Urjit Patel need not answer that question. And please let me tell you that Manmohan Singh himself has been an RBI governor before he went on to become the finance minister and prime minister. So I think he felt what the other side goes through when standing committees question the officers. On top of it, Urjit Patel was also very vehemently grilled by other parliamentarians who asked him how much money has been deposited in the banks. Urjit Patel could not answer that question. But he definitely told the committee that 9.2 lakh crores have been injected back. Members also asked Urjit Patel as to what will you do, because Prime Minister is talking about demonetization. Will there be equal demand and supply? He said that's the prerogative of the Reserve Bank of India and we'll see to it. And Mr. Patel will be called again either during the budget session or after, and he'll be meeting the members of the Public Account Committee headed by K.V. Thomas, former Food Minister, who actually piloted the food bill on 20th of January. But I think the takeaway of this meeting is Manmohan Singh coming to the defense of Urjit Patel, the former RBI governor, helps out the serving RBI governor.
Absolutely, Karthikeya. And just one quick question in passing. So, if I understood it correctly, the members were not satisfied with Patel's defense, or do you think they dispersed not confident about the handling of demonetization by the government?
You know what was happening is, you asked me a very, it's an important question. I'll put it like this. A lot of members asked him about the autonomy of the RBI. They asked him that how did it happen? Were you involved? He said, yes, it happened. The decision was taken in 2016 January and we were preparing for it. So he defended the decision of the government. He said, we actually went into what sort of impact will happen. So he was defending the political decision. But members whom I spoke to, they were pretty reticent. They felt that he was not forthcoming. They felt that he was not giving correct or precise answers. And they also felt that he should have given them the figure as to how much money the government has seen being deposited in the banks during the time demonetization was taking place.
Indeed, Karthikeya. Thank you so much for your inputs there. That was WION's Chief Domestic Correspondent Karthikeya Sharma reporting from New Delhi. Now moving on, news from the poll-bound state of Punjab. Former Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh has filed his nomination from Lambi against incumbent Chief Minister Prakash Singh Badal. The Congress has announced candidates for 117 seats in Punjab. Singh is the face of the Congress party's campaign in Punjab, but the party has not yet declared him as the party's chief ministerial candidate. Prakash Singh Badal is also expected to be in Lambi to campaign for the upcoming assembly elections. Meanwhile, Navjot Singh Sidhu, who has recently joined the Congress party, has filed his nomination from Amritsar.
बड़ा आसान मुकाबला है, हम तो इसको हराएंगे अच्छी तरह। तो यही है, तो हमने नॉमिनेशन अभी फाइल किया है और अब बस लड़ाई में पड़ेंगे और बादल को हराएंगे यहाँ से।
And as the visuals that you're seeing on your television screens right now, Navjot Singh Sidhu, who recently joined the Congress party, has filed his nomination from Amritsar seat. He was a member of parliament from the BJP before he joined the Congress party very recently. And as we've been reporting here on WION, the Congress party has not yet declared Captain Amrinder Singh as the party's chief ministerial candidate. The incumbent Chief Minister Prakash Singh Badal is also expected to be in Lambi to campaign for the upcoming assembly elections. And just to recap the news for the benefit of viewers who might just be tuning in, former Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh has filed his nomination from Lambi against incumbent Chief Minister Prakash Singh Badal. The Congress has announced candidates for 117 seats in Punjab so far. Singh is the face of the Congress party's campaign in Punjab, but the party has not yet declared him as its chief ministerial candidate. On the other hand, the incumbent Chief Minister Prakash Singh Badal is also expected to be in Lambi to campaign for the upcoming assembly elections. Meanwhile, as the pictures on your screen will show, Navjot Singh Sidhu, who has recently joined the Congress party, filed his nomination from Amritsar seat. More news after the break, but before that, a quick programming note. Don't miss this, a special interview I did earlier today with former Afghanistan President Hamid Karzai, coming up at 8:30 p.m.